Breaking, and when I say breaking, I mean grab your porn, silence your group chat. And tell Netflix to wait because Hollywood just coughed up a secret so spicy it could season an entire Thanksgiving turkey. After 19 years of whisper-level mystery, Keith Urban finally opened his mouth and accidentally shook the celebrity universe like someone unplugged the Wi-Fi at Kris Jenner's house. Did he just confirm every rumor we've ever screamed into TikTok comments at 2 a.m.? Did he just softly, gently, politely drop the quietest bomb in celebrity marriage history? Because with one tiny sentence, Keith may have just admitted what fans have been decoding like FBI interns, studying Taylor Swift Easter eggs. The Nicole Kidman fairy tale may not have been as glass slipper perfect as Hollywood PR fairy dust made it look. One line, one moment, one philosophical quote that sounded calm but hit harder than when Will Smith decided to rewrite Oscars history. Life is in session. No scandal scream. Just a beautifully subtle emotional mic drop disguised as enlightenment. Translation for the internet: yes, something happened. No, you were not crazy. And now we go deeper. Hold your tea. This ride is just getting started. It always starts the same way in Hollywood, with that perfect fairy tale shine that blinds everyone into believing love here is made of gold instead of contracts, PR timing, and professionally trained public smiles. For 19 years, people looked at Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman and saw not just a marriage but a cinematic fantasy. The kind that makes reality look cheap and makes normal couples question why their partner does not wake them up with roses and violins. They had that glow, the kind where photographers gasp, fans sigh, and gossip blogs reluctantly close their drama folders because this couple seemed immune to chaos. But behind every legendary calm is a secret wave waiting to crash. And the world got its first splash when Keith quietly dropped that one mysterious line that made the internet explode like it discovered a hidden Hollywood cheat code. Life is in session. A harmless phrase to the untrained ear, poetic even, but to those who have mastered the language of celebrity diplomacy, it sounded like the emotional equivalent of dropping a glass in a silent room. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Fans who once wrote paragraphs about soulmates began acting like FBI agents scanning old interviews frame by frame. That one award show where Keith smiled too politely. That press event where Nicole blinked a little slower, as if she were processing the meaning of life while also remembering she left her emotional wallet at home. Suddenly, every quiet moment became a clue. Every calm expression a mystery. Every quote a confession in disguise. Because nothing in Hollywood is ever just what it appears to be. And when a marriage that looked sculpted by angels starts feeling a little too polished, people start whispering. Maybe the magic was real once, but magic fades, glitter settles, and the spotlight does not forgive fatigue. Did Keith finally feel the weight of perfection? Did Nicole get tired of holding every emotion with queen-like grace? Did they simply grow apart? Not in anger, but in silence. The kind of silence that tells you the story ended a long time ago, even if the credits had not rolled yet. Some swear they noticed years ago, pointing at red carpet photos where the smiles looked like museum pieces instead of spontaneous joy. Others claim Keith had been hinting through his music, his tone, interviews that something was shifting beneath the elegant surface. And then there are the dramatic fans who insist Nicole always knew, always controlled the narrative, always walked 2 steps ahead in emotional intelligence, while Keith quietly waited for the right moment to speak without truly saying anything. That one sentence became the spark, the whisper that turned into a roar inside the internet echo chamber. And suddenly, everyone wanted to know what had been hiding behind nearly 2 decades of Hollywood calm. Life is in session, and everyone felt the truth breathing beneath those words. People did not waste time once that tiny, philosophical spark ignited curiosity. Because in celebrity culture, curiosity grows faster than scandal, and nothing feeds the internet like the scent of a secret. Suddenly, everyone had theories. Cousins of cousins had inside information. And anonymous sources who probably only brushed past someone's assistant once in an elevator claimed to know everything. There were whispers of private conversations at glamorous fundraisers, where Nicole supposedly maintained her elegant composure while Keith quietly stared into the distance as if contemplating the deeper meaning of life or possibly calculating how many more polite smiles he could realistically manage before his soul politely requested a refund. Fans began pulling up old interviews, noting how Nicole always spoke like she had mastered the art of emotional chess, while Keith sometimes looked like he was trying to remember if he left a pot boiling at home. They called it the silent strategy era, when their marriage looked smooth yet carried that faint smell of polite exhaustion that only trained gossip detectives could detect. Blogs pretended to have leaked diaries. Tabloids claimed to have recordings from candlelit dinners where the silence allegedly felt like a third guest at the table. And every grainy paparazzi photo got treated like a historical artifact revealing ancient truths. One writer said Nicole walked 3 feet ahead once at a premiere, and social media turned it into a symbolic thesis about emotional distance disguised as designer fabric. Another claimed Keith's shift from overly enthusiastic to calmly philosophical. It's not maturity, but a coded emotional transmission. And the theories kept multiplying. Some insisting Nicole's grace was actually power and strategy. Others swearing Keith's peace was actually surrender after years of careful emotional negotiations. Someone even posted a blurry screenshot of a text that allegedly read, "They are living separate emotional worlds now," and people treated it like a sacred archaeological scroll. Did they fight loudly or drift quietly? Did something dramatic happen? Or was this simply to people realizing life was bigger than fairy tale illusions and perfectly synchronized smiles? The lack of chaos became suspicious on its own, because when a Hollywood love story ends without screaming headlines and broken champagne glasses, everyone assumes a deeper, more elegant kind of drama. It became a narrative of subtle power, of whispered truths, of two icons choosing dignity over performance. And the internet, addicted to chaos, did not know how to react. Some called it maturity. Others called it a conspiracy of silence. A few insisted Nicole orchestrated the graceful exit like a film scene, while Keith chose poetic truth bombs instead of dramatic interviews. The world kept waiting for a shocking twist that never came, and that quiet calm only fueled the theories further. Because in a place where love usually ends in chaos, peace felt louder than scandal. And so the investigation continued, not into loud drama, but into the soft, careful ending of a story that once glowed brighter than any Hollywood spotlight. And eventually, the calm speculation turned into a full cultural investigation, as if the universe itself had assigned the public the role of honorary detectives in the quietest emotional mystery Hollywood had ever seen. Reporters sat at shiny studio desks pretending to analyze subtle eyebrow raises. TikTok commentators slowed down red carpet clips like they were decoding national secrets. And podcast hosts spoke in intense whispers as if they were narrating a documentary about ancient royalty instead of two very elegant, very private adults simply living chapters of their lives. Meanwhile, Keith continued offering soft sentences that sounded like philosophy textbooks wrapped in country vocals. And Nicole continued carrying herself like a woman who reads emotions the way others read scripts. Calm, graceful, almost amused at the world trying to break a code she never said existed. Yet speculation thrives on silence the way fire thrives on oxygen. And soon theories evolved into hypothetical, emotional lawsuits in the court of public imagination, where dramatic fans demanded answers about who felt what and when, as if feelings came with official timestamps. People invented imaginary therapy leaks. Fictional friends close to the couple gave poetic interviews that only existed in comment sections. And someone even declared they spotted sadness in the reflection of Keith's guitar during a concert, turning blurry pixels into emotional evidence. And while no document was filed, no public argument spilled, and no dramatic meltdown occurred, the absence of chaos itself began to feel like the biggest headline. Some said Nicole walked away with elegance. Some said Keith walked forward with peace. And some insisted they both simply woke up one day and realized fairy tales are beautiful chapters, not lifelong contracts. Hollywood waited for a scandal because Hollywood always wants a scandal. But instead, it got maturity, and maturity confused everyone more than chaos ever could. That single-sentence "life is in session" became a thesis, a spark. A cinematic punctuation mark whispered, not in regret, not in bitterness, but in acknowledgement that people evolve, paths shift, and sometimes love does not crash. It simply exhales and moves on. There were no villains here, no dramatic betrayals, just two icons choosing growth over spectacle. And in a world built on spectacle that felt almost revolutionary, analysts kept digging, fans kept guessing, theories kept swirling. But the truth felt simpler than all the dramatic speculation swirling through gossip. Airwaves. Sometimes the story ends not because it failed, but because it finished, because life keeps moving and people keep becoming who they are meant to be next. And as the public hung on every whisper of meaning, every quiet quote, every subtle gesture, it became clear that the most dramatic stories are not always loud. That silence can shake the room louder than shouting. And that even the grandest Hollywood romances can end in grace instead of flames, leaving everyone watching not in scandal-fueled shock but in reflective awe at how quietly a dream can transform into memory. When life calls for a new chapter to begin, and now that we have traced this quiet storm, this whisper of truth hidden behind years of elegance and soft-spoken strength, you tell me, what do you think this really means? Was this an ending or an evolution? A goodbye or a transformation? And more importantly, what does it say about the way Hollywood love stories are built, sustained, and finally released back into the world with quiet dignity instead of noise? If this story made you think, if it made you look at silence differently, if it reminded you that not every chapter ends with broken glass, but sometimes with a breath and a gentle turning of the page, then stay with us, because there are more untold stories, more quiet truths, more hidden layers waiting to be explored one whisper at a time. Like, comment, share your thoughts below, and subscribe so you never miss the next revelation.